Let's get into my top recommendations for apologetics and theology books for 2025. First up, Theology Basics by Felicia Mazenheimer. She is the voice behind the Every Woman a Theologian blog and corresponding book. But did you know Felicia has a ton of books that she has written? Most are available on her website, not necessarily on Amazon. And this is one of them, called Theology Basics. It is a summary of fundamental Christian beliefs. It is 80 pages long, and Felicia just says she's a best-selling author, Bible teacher, and host of the Verity podcast. I've listened to Verity podcast, and it is very, very good. So Theology Basics is the first book up and the first book that I recommend. And links to all of these will be in the description box below. Up next, Expository Apologetics, Answering Objections with the Power of the Word by Wendy Jr. Wendy is a pastor, and he is so good. Now, while all of you watching this video may not be of the Reformed tradition, his exposition of the Bible is, wow, just some of the best I've ever seen. So I trust what he says in this book. So this will be book number 2 that I will be reading for 2025, which is Expository Apologetics. The next book is a classic, The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. He is now a pastor, but he wasn't at the time he wrote this book. At the time he was investigating Christianity as an investigative journalist in Chicago, he was an atheist, and his wife became a Christian. And so that prompted him on this discovery he tried to disprove Christianity. But of course, as we all know, you try to disprove something that's true and you end up believing the thing that is true. So The Case for Christ is a classic. It is a compilation of basically lots of resources and Lee's interviews with experts in different areas of apologetics and science and things like that. It's about 300, a little over 300 pages, but well worth the read. Again, this is a classic. They made a movie about it. They made a movie of it. It's also called The Case for Christ. So check that out. It was a pretty decent movie. I watched it last year and really enjoyed it. So check out The Case for Christ. There's a lot. This is the first of many cases. So there's a case for Christmas, a case for Easter, a case for faith, a case for God. So he really hit on a goldmine here in terms of apologetics and explaining why the Bible is reliable and why Jesus is indeed who he says he is. The next book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist by Norman Geisler, the late Norman Geisler, and Dr. Frank Turek. And this is a new one for me. I haven't listened to Frank Turek's podcast, but I have seen him speak. I saw him speak in October at a conference, and I was very impressed. So I picked up a couple of his books, and this particular one is, wow, just chock full. It's over 400 pages with sources. And so this book is the basis for many of his talks at colleges and universities. So if you've seen his videos on crossexamine.org, on YouTube, things like that, a lot of it's coming from this book. And so I actually want to go later this year to kind of like a training for apologists. And one of the things that they want you to have read is this book right here. So I have put this on my list for Q1. And then there is Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabil Qureshi. He died a few years ago of cancer, which is, of course, very sad because cancer stinks. But Nabil became such a fierce apologist, and he he always seemed to be very humble to me. And so this book was actually part of a course that I was supposed to read it a year or so ago in my multicultural studies class. But I didn't get around to reading it and ended up dropping the class. Not because the class was bad, but it was a time management issue. So this book is almost 400 pages as well. I believe there is an audio version. So if you have trouble sitting down and just like actually reading physical books, try the Kindle version, try the versions on Audible. I will link as many of those resources in the description of the video as I can. But yeah, if you want to listen to it, that's totally legit. That makes sense to me. There was another book. Oh, no, there wasn't. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. So these are the books that I'm looking at for Q1. As I make it through these books, I will add more to the list. If you want any reviews on these books, if you want separate videos on these books, please let me know. And I will do the best I can. If you have books that you want to recommend that I read and then do a review on, let me know that as well in the comments. But yeah, these are the books I'm starting with for 2025 in this order, actually. So it's going to be a good year to dive into the Word and to learn more about the fundamentals of theology. Oh, yes, there was another book I was going to mention, and that is Happy Lies by Melissa Doherty. It has not come out yet. It comes out this month, and that's the reason I don't have it here to show you. But it looks like it's going to be a really good book as well. So I'm going to see if I can get Melissa Doherty onto the channel and do an interview. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. Let me know a lot of things in the comments. I asked you a lot of questions in this video. So let me know what you want to see in this channel in 2025. Suggestions you have for books for me to read and review, and just any general video ideas you have. So whatever you have, let me know. And I hope that you have a wonderful start to the new year. And I wish you much love and blessings. My name is Wendy. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.